the 7th meeting of the Plainfield Park District. Roll call. Ludeman. Here. Newton.
Here.
Solosky. Here. Steinitz. Furtado. Time to say the pledge of allegiance here. Would you lead us? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
To approve the agenda for tonight, do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion, we approve tonight's agenda.
I'll second the motion with the note that all votes tonight in order to be successful have to be 3-0 votes, otherwise they are not approved because we didn't hear them from the first.
So Ludeman.
Yes.
Newton.
Yes.
Solosky.
Yes.
Motion carries. It's now time for public comments, so anyone who would like to speak, we welcome your thoughts.
I got a smaller one, sorry.
I could.
Say, be kind.
I got a small, this is a very small one, it's more housekeeping. My name is Vicki Polito, from Blakely Drive in Plainfield. I was wondering if, because I was looking at the website to look at the agenda and stuff, and this had occurred to me before, when you go to the page for the board meeting and everything, you right away have sort of just a long panel that we have to scroll through of the commissioners. It's not that the commissioner information is unimportant or something you might not want to check, but it's static. When people go to that page, what they're looking for is, what's going on today? What's going on this week? Where's my meeting info? Can maybe somebody think about rearranging that page to shift the static info to float to the bottom where it's still easy to reach, but you can have things like, here's the upcoming meeting, and also, whether it's a regular meeting or a special meeting, instead of just having the notice with the PDF of the notice, and then you have to go down to see if there's the agenda in a different block, you might want to put links to everything about that meeting with that meeting. That'll just expedite people gathering that info when they're out there on the page. So that was all I wanted to mention. Thank you.
Any other comments?
Come on, you guys are never silent.
No.
I'm always silent, usually.
Wow. And Linda's smiling at me, so that's a really good sign.
So far. We'll see.
We'll move on to discussion on the increase of the member.
Commissioner.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Excuse me. I need my bifocals instead of my reading glasses. This would help me. Commissioner comments at this time.
I guess I've been corrected by Matt that we can't have a majority of quorum as a majority vote, so.
I'll confirm them, yeah, but I think it's fixed. I mean, it's the people present.
Okay. So, that's it.
I just want to thank everyone for coming to the special meeting and showing your support.
Yeah, and I'll say thank you all for being here tonight. This is probably, not that I wouldn't love to have a full audience all the time, except that what we've gone through over the past 4 months, and well, more than that, but it's kind of nice to have a smaller audience. Let's put it this way, we'll just consider it family. Said so. At this time, we have discussion on the increase of membership of the Park District Board from 5 to 7 members and possible methods available to enact such changes.
Do you have anything, Commissioner? Well, I personally support the House bill. I think most people are aware of that. I agree with increasing our board for better representation due to the size of our district. So I'm hoping that goes through, and of course, if that does not, we can still increase our board for a resolution. So if the House bill should fail, I would think that we should then go with a resolution.
I also agree that we should go to 7 members, and I guess we can discuss the specifics of the 2 action items when we consider the resolution, but I'm in favor of expanding to 7.
For myself, when we moved here in 1990, and I remember the school district, as far as I recall, which is at 62 square miles, had 3 elementary schools, 1 junior high, and 1 high school. And of course, it has expanded exponentially. And so too has the park district. So because it's the 9th largest park district in the state of Illinois, it makes sense to enlarge it to 7 members. But that can be done in-house. There are other reasons too, whether the bill passes or no. If it doesn't pass, then we could, as we said, have a resolution and do that. But also, there are possibilities that even if it does pass, it could end up in the courts. The bill is, if it is signed into law, specific to one governing body in one municipality, and which does not, and to no other throughout the state of Illinois. The constitutionality of that will be called into question, could be called into question. Also, state legislators appointing people to a local governing body. From a legal standpoint, it opens up a Pandora's box. And though it seems like sometimes it may be the only way to do what needs to be done, bills that are passed into law with the best of intentions can have unintended consequences. And though I commend both Mary and Mary and Representative Tom Cross and Senator Bertino-Tarrant for working to make things better. But I'm very happy with where we're at right now. I think the people are seeing that we're moving in the right direction. And that is why I believe in going strictly by the IAPD rule book and endorsing and voting for this resolution in-house. And I've said more than I need to. At this time, we are seeking a motion to approve resolution 2014-12, a resolution showing the support of the district for HB 5593.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. Discussion?
I just want to, again, I have said this before, but I want to thank Representatives Tom Cross, Natalie Manley, and Senator Bertino-Tarrant for taking an interest in trying to help the Plainfield Park District community. And I do support this legislation. And the main reason I like this is it would appoint 2 new commissioners right now, as opposed to our in-house resolution. They would have to wait until the spring of next year's election. So that's my main reason I like the idea of adding the 2 new people immediately, and they would then go up for re-election in the spring as well, should they choose to run, or there would be 2 new seats at that time if they chose not to. That's all I have to say.
I think each of us up here, the 3 of us, have a desire to expand the board from 5 to 7. I just wanted to point out that 100 members of the General Assembly and much of the public recognize that our situation here is unusual, and thus the need for the special legislation, which is targeted specifically for this situation, which I tend to agree that those are not ideal situations, but given the unusual nature of the situation, I think in this case it's appropriate. I do agree also that there is a possibility of unintended consequences, but I believe that those consequences will be largely mitigated by the vetting process of our state representative and senator, in that both of their reputations will be on the line as well, and they would want to protect those reputations by selecting very qualified and appropriate persons to serve on the board. I think that, that also the new commissioners will only serve as appointees until the next election in April, at which time they will either stand aside or stand for re-election. So therefore, my vote is for support of House Bill 5593.
To make a motion for vote?
Call the question.
Goodman,
Yes.
Newton,
Yes.
Slosky,
No.
motion carries. Sure likes that.
What's that?
Just
She
making
said
sure.
you
It was a 2-to-1 vote, so does that mean it passes?
Yes, I believe it does.
Okay.
I have a question,
Sure.
Matt, in regards to this. I believe I know what the answer will be on this, so I would like to have can we hold this other one on B till the next meeting?
Sure, if there's no motion to consider it, then it wouldn't be considered, we wouldn't vote on it. Is the thought that because we passed the other one?
Well, we don't have other members here,
Mm-hmm.
so I think I know what the vote will be, and I'd
If-
like,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
the question is how to proceed.
If there's no motion to consider it, then it falls. If there's a motion to consider it and second it, then it will be considered.
Well, I might as well put this forward because I don't want it to just fall through the cracks. At least I'll have done my due diligence on this.
And certainly, I mean, there can be a motion to reconsider, that can be done. I mean, there's a procedure for that as well,
Sure.
at the next full meeting.
Okay, seeking a motion to approve resolution 2014-13, which is a resolution to increase the size of the board from 5 to 7 members.
You can make a motion to table or something like that if you choose.
Sure. Or if there's no motion for a vote, then there's no motion. If there's a motion to table after that, somebody can make a motion to table after that.
Can we make a motion to table this till next meeting?
You can certainly make that.
If that's
I
your
would like
motion.
to make a motion to table this till our next meeting, and may I make a side comment?
Why don't we get a second first, and we can discuss?
Okay, after it's, okay.
Yep.
I'll second it.
Okay. Discussion?
Yeah. I don't want it to fall through the cracks. I told Mary that, I wanted to, if I could have voted on this to endorse this resolution endorse the legislation to show my support for her, I would have done it, but I also told her, I said, I will do whatever I can, but I can't promise that I'll always vote 100% in the way that would go. And this, tonight is a case in point, so I hope those that are for the legislation, not the other one, will see it in whatever they want to. But I thought it was important to bring to the floor, and if we can just table that till the next meeting, so be it.
Sure.
Call the question.
Question?
And discussion?
Discussion?
Please roll call. Goodman,
Yes.
Newton,
Yes.
Slosky,
Yes.
motion carries.
To table.
Table it.
Yep.
To table it.
Right.
At this time, we're seeking motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel as permitted. Pardon?
Just say personnel, you don't have to go into all the detail.
I agree. I've been saying that for all the
Just
holidays.
say when executive session, discuss personnel, period.
Okay, well, I don't know. Her title always read the whole darn thing. Okay, so I learned something new every meeting.
Second.
Okay. Goodman,
Yes.
Newton,
Yes.
Slosky.
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries.
Guys, can I stop you for 1 second? Because I didn't want to interfere with the meeting, but if I could just mention, I keep hearing the phrase Pandora's box in the discussion, and I understand what it means, and I'm getting a little, I'm sure everybody's sick of hearing it because it's such a catchphrase, but please don't forget the story of Pandora's box. One of the things that came out of the box was hope. It's not all bad news.
Going on.